Just a reminder that these videos are made for adult doll collectors or adults buying dolls for others. This is not a video for children. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you very much for listening. Hello Internet! My name is Kelsey, and welcome back to my closet. Oh my god, guys! I don't want to say that this is going to be the best doll I've gotten this year, but I think this is going to be the best doll that I've gotten this year. So spoiler alert, she's probably gonna make it to the #1 spot in my top 10 dolls of 2023. Of course I haven't opened her yet, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I could say that with a lot of confidence. Because today I got Vampire Heart Draculaura. Oh my god, I am so happy. She is so stunning. My god, this is the best Draculaura I have ever seen in my entire life. She blows Honkator out of the water. She blows like every other Draculaura that exists out of the water in my mind. She's so perfect. I cannot wait to see all the little details on her. If you watched back a live stream that I did, I think it was the last live stream that I did, or if you happened to be there live when I was streaming, that was the day that the pre-order for her came out on Amazon. So I had seen leaks of her and I was like, ooh, I can't wait until they tell us when she's gonna drop, right? And in my live streams, a lot of times we just talk about like, oh, these pictures came out, what do you think? Are you looking forward to it? So I brought up this doll and I was like, who's excited for Vampire Heart? And then people were like, she already dropped and sold out. And I was like, what? So I frantically started looking on my phone and there was the Amazon listing. She was sold out. Mattel had posted an Instagram post saying that she was out with no preamble or anything. Just like, here she is, go get her. And I was like, oh my god, I missed her. How did I miss her? I was devastated. I was truly devastated. I had to take a minute in the live stream and just like mourn, because I mean, she's so amazing with this gothic vampire ball gown princess queen thing going on. And I was like, how am I gonna get her? I don't want to have to pay for a reseller, but I was resolving myself to that was what was gonna happen. I was patiently waiting for Friday the 13th because I knew that's when she was officially releasing and people were going to have her in hand, and then I would just buy her on eBay or something from somebody. But thanks to Christina from Christinaland, who I recommend her channel. Definitely go and check her out and subscribe and watch her videos. She and I are both big Draculaura stans. And so she knew that I was upset that I missed out on her, and she was keeping an eye out for me and saw that on Friday the 13th around like, I don't know, 2-ish, 1:30-ish, all of a sudden she came back in stock and I was like, oh! And I got her. She was up for several hours, so I really hope that means that everyone that really wanted her got a chance to get her. But yeah, I was like, thank you so much! And then I was able to get her, and she shipped in 2 days, and I'm like, and I just finished filming a video, 2 videos, and then she hadn't been delivered yet, and I was like, well, I guess I'll have to wait and film tomorrow. And then all of a sudden she showed up and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back, set everything back up again, and we're gonna do this because I am too excited to wait. I am so sorry if all I do is gush in this video, but as a huge Draculaura stan, somebody who loves Victorian and this cool edgy gothic aesthetic for Monster High, this is hitting all of my boxes. So I'm gonna be really excited throughout this entire video. I am so glad that I was able to get her. And again, I really hope everyone got a chance to get her. The retail price for her was $100. I mean, just looking at everything, I'm ready already to say that it was 100% worth it. Every single penny. But we have to definitely look at the entire thing first to make that decision, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it one single bit. That was a lot of talking. Let's look at this box, which is fantastic, by the way, but obviously you can't see all of the amazing details that they put into this doll if we leave her in the box, so we are going to open her. But I am probably going to save this box because it's really, really cool for display. I think you could easily get her back in here, but we'll find out after we actually open it. She is in a full window package. It's rounded at the front so that you can see her from different angles. It says Draculaura Vampire Heart on the front in silver, and there is a little crystal heart with wings And there's more of them and other little hearts and details in foil all around the plastic. At the bottom, it says Monster High, and there's more decorative printing. Behind her, there are little plastic sheets that have shiny bats on them. So you can see as the light hits them, the bats kind of light up with different colors. And there she is. Oh. And there's like a spooky castle background behind her. I really think that Mattel has just put everything, their whole heart and soul, into this design here. Maybe even literally, because it's Monster High. Maybe they carved out their heart. On the back, we have pictures of her, and oh, this angle here in the stock pictures, oh, it's one of the pictures that makes me just love her even more. I just love the way her hair is flowing down with the big web bow in the back. She's just so amazing. And then on the back, it says it in several languages here. In another time, Draculaura is the vampire queen. As the vampire's heart begins to glow, Draculaura can hear the stirring melody of a string quartet. But how, she wonders, her dark eyes peering down into the ballroom as dancers swirl in a ghostly scene. Candles flicker with an ominous glow as the clock strikes midnight, and Draculaura approaches the grand staircase. The crowd grows quiet as they watch the haunting beauty descend in a romantic, regal cage skirt ball gown. Her dark hair pulled back by an elaborate batwing headpiece, the vampire heart glitters at the center and brings the crowd into a respectful bow. Draculaura has arrived and is ready to stake her claim as the new vampire queen. My dramatic reading of the back of the box. I can't take it anymore. We gotta open her. I must see this vampire heart for myself. Okay, so here's the box. Kind of opens like this. I wish it was an insert that you could have slid out and then you could have easily put it back in here so that you could reassemble a package if you wanted to. But I just figured I would point that out. Otherwise, though, it should be pretty easy to get her out of here without breaking too much. Okay, guys. Draculaura is free! The vampire queen has arrived, and God, she is so beautiful. Like, this doll is so crazy good! This is a G1 style Monster High doll, so she has Draculaura's original face. And I'm gonna move these bangs out of the way so we can see. She actually has brown eyebrows, which is interesting. And they're pretty thick, I think thicker than what G1 Monster High used to have. But what's really striking is just the rest of her screening. Okay, so she has rooted eyelashes, as you can see, her classic purple eyes. The makeup, we have black eyeshadow with a layer of pink over it. Either that or it's like the pink eyeshadow has a black outline to it, but it's heavy and kind of dark, even though there's still pink in it. There's a little smoky buffed out layer above that you can't see as well with the eyelashes in the way, although you can kind of see it better on this eye, but it's gorgeous. The heavy dark makeup adds to the spooky gothic nature of this doll, but she still has some glitter underneath her bottom lashes, and then pitch black lipstick with her fangs and her black beauty mark in the shape of a heart, like she always has. And then her hair, it's pretty elaborately styled. So we have this curled bang. I don't know how to describe what shape this is supposed to be. It's a strange choice of bang shape, although I mean it works. It's still like perfect, but it's something that I never would have thought of myself, I guess is what I'm saying. But from the side, like, look at that. The hair is mostly black, but there is very, very light pink streaks up in the top area. It does not continue all the way. Her main hair is black in the back here, but it's enough to do the bangs, to do the part line, and to go into these huge braids, which are on either side of the head. They go down and are tied underneath the back of the rest of her hair. And it is Saran, but the hairstyle, it's very old, and there is kind of a callback to Dracula in some ways. I feel like there was a version of Dracula that had like puffy sides to his hair. You know, the Widow's Peak is obviously the more classic hairstyle that you think of for a vampire in general, but I feel like there's something calling back to classic Dracula with the largeness of these braids sticking out. But also it could just be a very elaborate Victorian styled hairstyle. Let's look at her earrings. They are a very pale pink translucent plastic with hearts at the ears themselves, bat wings, and dangling gems. Kind of gives the feeling of a chandelier or a piece of a chandelier. And then we get to the headpiece where she has the vampire heart itself on the back of it. It is a big pink crystal. If you turn it, you can see how the light kind of shines through it and catches it, and it's at the center of this huge bat wing headpiece, which is beautiful and spooky all at once. This is the perfect doll for Halloween too. We have a pretty detailed bat face above the heart. There's some black pearls lining underneath and a little teardrop gem there. The wings almost look like they were spray painted because they're black, but they ombre into pink, and it's the same thing with the webs that stick out behind the wings. It's like they airbrushed them, and I love the effect. It's on both sides. It just adds a little something extra because they could have easily left this all black with just the little hanging pieces being pink, but I like the addition of the little extra splash of pink because her outfit is very, very black. Her hair is very black. So having these pops of pink in her skin and her jewelry, it puts another layer and adds interest, visual interest. The other thing is, look at all the texture on the bat wings themselves. Both sides have all this molded texture, and I'm not sure if real bat wings are this pockmarked, I guess is what I would call it, but it's just a really nice extra detail to have the texture. It makes it look more like this is a bat that she taxidermied to make a headpiece for herself. As the vampire queen in this alternate universe, she might be a little more evil than her Monster High counterpart. And finally, on the headpiece, we have these hanging bits that have little dangling translucent pink hearts. They do have a little bit of movement to them. They are just on there hooked through these loops, so just be really careful that they don't fall off and you lose them because they're so small. I feel like they would disappear really easily. And now we get to look at this gorgeous ball gown. Wow. Just wow. So she does have a shawl on over the bodice of this dress. Look at this little hand pose. She's too much. From the back, she just looks gorgeous. Oh my god. I'm getting too distracted. So let's look at the shawl. It is a black tulle. It's all gathered up to look like she just wrapped it around her shoulders. There is a hemming on it, so it is finished up by the arms, which is nice. In the back, it kind of ties, or at least it looks like it was tied in the back, and it trains down into these two long pieces of tulle that go all the way down past the skirt, so they would trail behind her as she walks. Look at that. Yeah, I love it. I love the way that it is. Oh my god. Stop getting distracted. Do the review. I love that it's not only the shawl, but it's also the train, because normally you would just tie a bow like that into the back of the skirt, and that would be where it trails down behind her. But I like that it's the shawl, because it also means that if you take the shawl off, you have a different look for the front and the back of the dress. Here's what it looks like. It really is just kind of like a giant bow, but she's using the upper parts of the bow as sleeves. Here is what the bodice looks like without the shawl. And now we get an even brighter pop here because we have white lace. So up here, she has a black lace collar, and then it goes into white lace for the sleeves. There is a little bit of a puff to them at the shoulders, and then it ends at the end in these black lace cuffs with little black ribbons at the wrist. But that's not all. We also have this satin layer here. There's a black ribbon with a little plastic rose, and I love that this rose is 3D. Those are each little separate petal pieces that they had to put together. I really like that. That is a really nice touch. And excitingly here, one of the things I saw, I think, in the stock images is how they were talking about how they came up with the design. And the dress is supposed to be several pieces. So this satin part of the bodice is actually a separate piece from the lace part, and we can look at what the lace is. I think the lace just continues all the way down, and it is separate from the cage skirt. The satin part goes down into this rouged upper layer for the skirt, and I just love the extra dimension of having the ruffles with the lace trim, the little pearls sewn on. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The construction of this is just amazing too, because how often, I mean, what ball gowns do we really get from dolls? It's mostly holiday Barbies that get ball gowns, and yeah, that's Mattel, so Mattel kind of has a good idea of how to make a ball gown, but they've never done anything like this. And then we get down to the actual ball gown cage skirt. So this is a clear vinyl with black vinyl details over it, and I love this. If they were gonna do a cage skirt, this is the way I wanted them to do it. They kind of did attempt a cage skirt earlier this year, obviously. Rochelle, the Fangvote Rochelle, wound up not being exactly what everyone was hoping for, and you know, most dolls that do cage skirts anyway, it's just plastic. Like the plastic that this headpiece is made of. It's hard, it just has no give to it, and it's bulky. It can work, but it's not as pretty. Yeah, this is a little floppier, and it was kind of bent in the packaging because, you know, it's in the packaging. It can crease, potentially, and won't have that cage or ball gown effect anymore, but I would much rather have this than the plastic kind on an adult collector doll, because it just is better. And this did take more effort, because not only did they have to do the clear layer, but then they had to do the black layer with all of the cuts in it, and then they had to sew it all together. I much prefer this to any other cage skirt we've ever gotten on a doll. There's a really intricate design. I don't even know how to describe it, but there's hearts hidden in it in various places. There's fangs hidden in it. There's like a widow's peak there, just kind of hiding, bat wings. If you look closely at it, it's subtle hints at these motifs for Draculaura, not like way in your face. And that makes it more elegant. I just love the subtlety of it. And then we have this extra trim at the bottom, which again, I adore this. I love that they added something, because they could have, you know, the bottom here, I'll show you the bottom of the vinyl skirt. It's black scalloped vinyl at the bottom, which, you know, okay, maybe at $50 you could have left it like that and it would have been fine. But they added all this extra fabric down here that brings it up to the next level. So we have, I guess, I don't know what this is, organza? You know, I say these words for fabric, I should know, I'm a crafter, and yet I don't know what these fabrics are called. So we have these rouged up swags of dress fabric with printing that is kind of hard to see at first. You have to really get close to it, but there's bat wing and bat head motifs printed onto this black, smoother material. And then there's in between just a little bit of tulle gathered into a triangle shape with a pearl sewn at the top. Just again to add another extra layer of detail. Oh, and there's lace trim at the bottom of the swags. I didn't even notice that before. This is why I love Monster High, because they always do these things and then you don't notice them and then you look closer and it's like, ooh, shoe. That's so cool. She is amazing. She is amazing. I love this. I mean, I hope I'm describing everything well because it's really hard to capture just how incredible she looks and feels in person. I guess I should also say, they did include this. It was under the skirt to kind of help it hold its shape, so if you wanted to make sure that the upper part of the skirt doesn't start to droop with time, you could leave this on her legs if you were just gonna straight up display her. And now I'm going to take off the skirt because we have to look at the rest of her and the shoes. So, underneath, the lace was not just a shirt, it's actually a full lace bodysuit that covers even her feet. On the legs, there is some black trim as kind of a front seam, which is interesting. I've never seen a front seam like that. And then we have the shoes, which in true Monster High fashion are extremely detailed. I think I lost a piece of the shoe. Why did they make it detachable? Oh my god. Okay, so ignore the fact that there's a hole here. Either it came off when I was undressing her or when I was unboxing her, but I am going to scour this place and look for the other piece of this shoe. Let's look at the rest of the shoe anyway. We have these pointy heels. On the front, we have straps with bows, and there's some molded texture to them. There's little molded buttons going up and some kind of rouged detail on the side. Kind of hard to describe. I'm not sure what you would classify this kind of shoe as, but they are definitely old school looking, definitely very gothic looking. And on the back, we'll have to look at this heel since this is the one I have still. This piece is detachable for some reason. I don't know why, because obviously it's pretty easy for it to come off and for you to lose it. She just decided to do a jazz dance. But anyway, it is a translucent black bat, and it's kind of sitting on a spiral staircase that is broken because the rest of the spiral staircase is her heel. And that ties into the story from the back of the box that she is coming down the staircase. These are really cool, very G1 Monster High. I just wish that they had made it so the bat was not a separate piece, but I guess because they had to mold it in the translucent color, it couldn't be the same piece of the shoe. Although they could have attached it with glue or something so that it wouldn't fall off. But when you take it off, you can also see there is some extra detail up top on the back of the heel, kind of a little ruffly layer. And that, my friends, is Vampire Heart Draculaura as she comes in the box. So let me put her back together real quick. And I did decide to cut off the couple of strings that were holding on the upper piece of the bodice because I think it was intended to be separate, because this way it also makes it easier to get on and off if you had to redress her, which I don't plan on doing. So you can also see how the vinyl continues up top and around the waistline of the skirt, and there is a ribbon trim up here. And I would say you just have to be careful with the Velcro against the lace. You don't want it to pull the lace. But here is what the bodice looks like by itself. And honestly, you could probably use this piece as a little mini dress on a classic Monster High doll. In fact, I will put it on because it has to go on before the cage skirt anyway. Yeah, that's actually cute by itself. Obviously, it's better with the cage skirt, but it is possible to just use it and make her a spooky vampire ballerina. And then the only things that she comes with are a stand, and this is a saddle stand, which I think is not common for Monster High. Here is what it looks like. So it's clear for the stick part, and then there is the Monster High logo with some other details in the base. A regular stand would be very unsightly for her, so I am glad that they went with the saddle stand. And finally, a certificate of authenticity. On the back it has the Vampire Heart logo, and over here it says, "This certifies that your Monster High Draculaura Vampire Heart doll materialized through the collaborative efforts of designers and artists at Mattel," and has the signature of Annalise Lau. So there's no number on here to say that it's number whatever of whatever, which means that she is not a limited release. And hopefully that means that if anyone didn't get a chance to get her the 2 times that she's been in stock on Amazon, that you'll be able to get her in the future. I love this doll. I love this doll. I love this doll! She is so gorgeous. Her materials are outstanding. The face-up is just beautiful. The design is inspired. She's everything. She is just everything. I don't know whether I like her more with or without the shawl. I'm gonna have to play around with that a little bit. My one gripe, of course, is that the shoe fell apart, but I do also have to say that despite the fact that you don't see the shoes under this skirt, they put all that extra detail into the shoes, so I appreciate that. She's just, there are just no words. There's no words. $100, well spent. Again, she's an Amazon exclusive. I think I mentioned that at some point. Get her if you can, if you're a fan of Monster High, Draculaura, vampires, Halloween, gothic design, just get her. Just get her. You will love her too. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and until next time, I have come to rule over you. You will all